Travis Cox leads the Utah State Aggies from the mountains to the southeast to take on Charlie Whitehurst and the Clemson Tigers. Two teams in need of a victory. You'll see it next on CSS. Clemson's Death Valley. It's going to fill up for homecoming as the Tigers come back, hoping to get a victory at last. Hi, everybody. Fred Cunningham with Don Munson. Thanks for being with us. Don, Clemson has not been here in 35 days. More importantly, they haven't won a game anywhere in 42.
Well, it has been a while since Clemson has been on the right side of the ledger, and that means the W column. And Tommy Bowden and his team right now have got the opportunity coming into this game to try to get some things sorted out, get some confidence installed back in that team, and get back into winning ways, which is what Clemson fans expect.
They're going to try to do it perhaps today by trying to run the football. Dwayne Coleman back in the lineup today and finally healthy.
Absolutely, and that is a big key. Of course, Coleman broke his foot in preseason. As you can see by his stats, he's only carried the ball 17 times so far. And as we saw last year, Fred, he is a big part of what they want to do offensively with this football team. Not only running the football, but also catching it coming out of the backfield.
If you like special teams, this is your football game. For Utah State, Kevin Robinson, he leads the nation in punt returns.
Well, and Clemson thinks they have a good punt return. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. But this kid, Kevin Robinson, look at him. He's averaging 36 yards a punt return. He already has a 90-yard return this season, 2 touchdowns as well. He is a definite threat when you put the ball in the air off your foot.
But you mentioned that Clemson can return the football as well, punting, and also on kickoffs in Justin Miller.
Well, Justin Miller is one of the best in the country. Not only is he a good defensive back, but when it comes to special teams, that man right there, number 9, can certainly get the job done. We saw it against Florida State, of course, as he set an all-time NCAA record with 282 yards in returns. And that return right there, Fred, he's not even beginning to be touched. Great downfield blocking for him. Took it home easily for a touchdown.
He also has a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown here against Wake Forest. We think we're going to have a lot of points on the board today. It should be an interesting one. We're going to be back at Clemson Death Valley straight after this. You're watching college football on CSS. College football on CSS is brought to you by Subaru, driven by what's inside. Clemson's Death Valley, homecoming Saturday. Not too bad today. Sunny skies, 57 degrees, but Don, we've got some wind out there, 12 miles an hour, and it could gust up to about 23, so that could wreak havoc with the kickers today.
Well, you know, you're pretty familiar with this stadium, Fred, but, you know, down on the field, things aren't as windy as they are certainly up here where we are in the broadcast booth, but nevertheless, the wind will be a factor. As we take a look at Mick Dennehy, made a name for himself at Montana, a fine 1AA program.
And kicking off is Utah State. They're going to pooch it up, almost an onside kick kind of situation, but it's fielded cleanly by the Tigers, and they're going to have a 1st and 10 out right there about their own 41-yard line. So Clemson catches a little bit of a break there right off the top. So Charlie Whitehurst brings his offense onto the field. He holds 35 Clemson records, but he has been struggling so far this season, Don, to say the least.
Well, it has not been the Charlie, certainly, that we saw last year. A lot of folks think, including the Clemson coaching staff, it's because he's putting way too much pressure on himself.
And that is not the kind of start the Tigers need. The football loose, problem with that center exchange, and Charlie Whitehurst saw the ball fall way back, and covering on the play is Dwayne Coleman right there. Coleman makes the recovery. So after a good field position, a bad start.
Well, Charlie has had problems, Fred, when he is checked up under center. He hasn't had that much problem when he's been back in shotgun, but when he has been up under center, he has had problems.
So that's going to be a loss on the play of 6. That makes it 2nd and 16 from the 38. This is Coleman. Coleman across the 40, 45, and he's across midfield to about the 49-yard line. As we go ahead and check out your Clemson starting lineup on offense. Of course, they get out there in a hurry. Barry Richardson, keep an eye on him. The first true freshman to start on the offensive line in 18 years. Johnson, Sharp, Bennett, and Dukes across that front. Whitehurst starting at quarterback with Coleman in the backfield. Steven Jackson, the fullback. Curry, Bayham, and Ben Hall, the tight end. 3rd down, 3 for the Tigers. We'll see if they can move the chains. This is Coleman looking to his right, and there's a little bit of a good second effort there. It looks like, though, he may have been a little bit short. We'll have to see where the spot is.
Well, that time they tried to run right side and behind the big offensive tackle on that side, but just could not get it enough. Dwayne actually made what he did because of his own effort.
So Clemson trying to make a decision here as you take a look at the Aggies defense. Pollock, Gates, Tupia up front. The linebackers, Poppinga, Johnston, Watts, and Chick. And in that secondary, Jerome Dennis, Taylor, Bala, and Lamb. They did their job because the Tigers have elected to punt on 4th down and about 2 from the 48-yard line. Cole Chasen back in punt formation, and Kevin Robinson is ready to receive. He's standing at his own 10-yard line. Again, he leads the nation in punt returns. Not a good kick at all. And let's see where this winds up going out of bounds. Not inside, inside the 30-yard line. Looks like the Aggies are going to set up 1st and 10 about their own 28.
They're actually, where are they going to move him up to?
Still waiting for an official spot here. Official holding the football about the 28-29. Now he's crossed the 30 and finally sets it down at the 31-yard line. So
not the kind of start, Fred, that the Clemson Tigers were looking for. A fumbled snap on their first offensive possession and then an 11-yard punt.
Here is Travis Cox, the senior quarterback. He started 17 games. He's thrown at least 1 touchdown in 16 of them. A couple backs in the backfield, man in motion. Cox will roll. It's in the air, complete. Not a whole lot of room right there. Number 2 coming up with a catch right there. Chris Forbes, as we check out the offense for the Aggies. Penn, Edie, Tupea, Jorgensen, and Schimling across the front line. In the backfield, Cox, Tyrone McKinney, Trent, Nate, Robinson, Pennyman, and Stevens is your tight end. 2nd down and 10 from the 31. No gain on that play. Delayed handoff and some running room across the 40. Goes Forbes. Looks like he is close to a 1st down. May actually have it. Let's check the Clemson defense. Bennett, Coleman, Trey Tate, and Mo Fountain, your front 4. Linebackers Waters, Leroy Hill, the outstanding linebacker. Tremaine Billy starting for Eric Sampson. And the secondary, Hill, Fudge, Travis Pugh, who made the last tackle, Justin Miller, the corner. 1st and 10 now from the 43. Cox from the shotgun, and we've got some movement across the offensive line. Looks like we had a little bit of a jump on the Tigers side of things. Eric Coleman definitely came across. We'll see if he was drawn.
The way the defense is walking back, looks like it will be indeed against Clemson.
Offside, 76.
Indeed, it's on Coleman. That's the call. That's the call from Jeff Flanagan, our referee. Coleman on the offsides. Here's another look at it. A little bit anxious there, yeah.
Well, that's a sin right there, Fred. All you have to do is really watch the ball if you're an interior lineman before you move, and you get drawn in that situation because of the cadence of the quarterback. But you got to be watching the ball. E.J.
Reed did not flinch the man across from. That makes it 1st and 5. Not a whole lot of running room right there, as again it's Forbes on the carry.
Utah State is a team, obviously, Fred, that does not run the ball a whole lot, but last couple of games they've been trying to establish a run a little bit more, averaging a little better than 97 yards per game on the ground in their last 3.
Good look at Trey Tate in that interior line, part of that tackle right there. Clock running, 11:20. 2nd down and 4. The Aggies from their own 49-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be an empty backfield. And indeed it is. This is our first real look at their spread offense. Pass is complete. Raymond Hicks making the catch. Ty Hill on the tackle. Check that, Kevin Robinson making the catch there. And he's able to move the chains for another Utah State 1st down.
Boy, nothing fancy there, Fred. Just a 3-step drop. They have their man one-on-one, a little slant into the middle of the field. Ty Hill making the tackle.
Kevin Robinson, a freshman out of Fresno. 17 of his 20 catches coming in the first 3 games. A lot of movement now on that Utah State offense. Forbes is in the backfield behind Cox on 1st and 10. Another quick throw and a completion. A pretty good shot there by Ty Hill, sending Tony Pennyman out of bounds, but not after he got inside the Tiger 35-yard line.
Gain of 7 yards.
7 yards on that pickup. Going to bring actually an 8-yard pickup, 2nd down and 2.
Cox coming off a game last week against North Texas, the Mean Green. He threw for career high or season best, 290 yards. That was the good. The bad was he threw 4 interceptions, and he also fumbled twice in the contest.
Tony Pennyman, their leading receiver, making the grab there. So it's 2nd down, actually 3. Cox with a handoff. 1st down yardage and more for Forbes as he gets down to about the Clemson 25-yard line. Tremaine Billy making the stop, but not before it's another 1st down for the Aggies. And then Don, that Clemson defense, we really haven't even gotten to the point of talking about 3rd downs yet. They're making 1st downs on 2nd.
Well, of course, that was a big story last week at Virginia. The Cavaliers were 14 of 20 in 3rd down conversions. But like you said, Fred, Utah State hasn't had to worry about that so far. On that play, got to credit the center and the 2 inside guards. They did a good job of getting on their men and opening up a hole.
1st and 10 Aggies at the Tigers 24. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Cox looking to throw. Ball falls incomplete. Pennyman looking for a flag, does not get one. And the ball falls incomplete. They'll bring up 2nd down.
Jamal Fudge over there in coverage, and that's the first incompletion so far of this ball game for Cox.
Take another look at it again. Fake the run. They've been setting that up. He looked like he was expecting it over his right shoulder, and the ball went to his left shoulder. So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10 situation again from the 24. 2 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Cox looking. Now he's going to roll to his left. Now he's in trouble. He's going down. The sack on the play. It's Gaines Adams, the sophomore out of Greenwood, South Carolina.
It looked like that time they're trying to set up a little screen play over to the right side. It was read well by the Clemson defense. Cox looked that way, and it looked like it was his only option on the play. Once he saw that Clemson had it defended and he couldn't throw it, he just had to eat it. Give credit to Adams also getting there, also joined by Groover.
3rd down and 16, and if you're John Lovett and Tommy Bowden, this is the down that's been worrying you all season long, especially of late. The Tigers giving up nearly 47% on 3rd down. Cox will throw, going for the end zone. The ball falls incomplete, and now there's a flag right there at the end zone. Looks like they're going to drop a penalty flag on Justin Miller for interference. He's looking for Raymond Hicks.
Well, and Hicks, the only man that went out as a receiver. They kept 10 in, sent 1 out. 1-on-1 with Miller, and Miller going to be guilty of pass interference.
Here is your call.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 9. Half it is go. 10 yards. From the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So more frustration for Tommy Bowden to keep this drive alive.
You can see the good blocking there, and then they go bit of contact by both players there, but Justin's got to give up that route because that receiver has the right to run his route, and Justin just stepped into that space. You can't knock him off like that.
Indeed you can't, so that moves the football up to inside the 15, about the 14 and a half, 1st and 10 for Utah State. 2 men in the backfield behind Cox at quarterback. A pitch, and they're going to throw it up, and they're going to have it picked off by Jamal Fudge. He's still on his feet across the 20. Still moving 30. About the out of bounds about the 32-yard line. Peter Shields tried to throw the football on the halfback option, and he threw it a little too long right around the goal line, and the Tigers come up with something rare, a turnover.
Well, it took 6 minutes and 7 seconds for a positive to happen here for the Clemson Tigers to open up this game, but it does. Fudge comes up with the opportunity, just lofted in the air, really a poor pass. Fudge goes and gets it, and then he makes the good return. It's a return of 24 yards up to the 34-yard line.
Clemson to work. Charlie Whitehurst going deep, looking for Aries Curry, who comes back to it. The ball falls incomplete. No marker dropped on the play. Jerome Dennis on the coverage. So Clemson trying to strike back quickly.
Well, of course, Curry, the speed man for the Clemson Tigers. And the Tigers are moving into the wind here. So does that have any kind of effect upon that ball? I kind of doubt it, because that was really more on a line than it was anything. Not a whole lot of air underneath that ball for Aries to just run under it and go get it.
2nd down and 10 from the 33. This is Coleman going to his right. Breaks one tackle. Couldn't quite get completely free. Moves it up to about the 35. Antonio Taylor making the stop. That's going to bring up a 3rd down situation for the Tigers. Looks like about 3rd down and 8.
Well, I think because of the inexperience of the left tackle, Barry Richardson, being just a true freshman, that right now Tommy Bowden and his staff have more confidence running right side behind Dukes and behind Bennett.
3rd down, 4 wide receivers now. Coleman joining Whitehurst in the backfield. Clock running 8:12. No score. Tigers trying to take advantage of a turnover near their own goal line. Whitehurst takes a deep drop, now rolling, in some trouble. Gets the pass off, incomplete. He was looking for Aries Curry around the 40-yard line. Ball falls incomplete, and the Tigers will go once again 3 and out and have to kick it away.
Due to time constraints, we now move forward in the action.
7:45 first quarter, no score. Clemson and Utah State. Aggies are 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line after a penalty that marked a little bit back from that return. Cox will throw. It's complete. Out of bounds about the 30-yard line. Raymond Hicks making the grab. Moves it up about a game around 6-yard line, or 6 yards rather. Ty Hill and Tremaine Billy there on the coverage.
Well, tell you what, Billy had that read well, as you can see him coming over there, try to get his hand up and deflect that ball, but just a step late. Remember, Billy came into this program as a running back, and a highly touted running back. But there was so much competition in the running back spot that they moved him over to linebacker, and he's been a real find defensively for the Clemson Tigers.
You know, before Travis Pugh's interception just a minute ago, Jamal Fudge rather, Billy had the only interception of the season so far by the Tigers. 2nd down and 4 from their own 30-yard line. We've seen Utah State run it a little bit so far. They rank 115th in the nation in rushing, so we expect to see a lot of passing. Cox looking, throwing, and it's going to sail out of bounds. He was looking for a receiver up the left side, but it wound up being well short. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 for Blake Garrett, the man he was looking for down the sideline.
Excuse me, Fred. Good pressure by the Clemson defensive front, but better coverage by the defensive secondary. They went man-to-man out up there on the corners. C.J. Gaddis was the man that was over there covering on the far side. He had his man tied up.
Leroy Hill putting some of that heat on there that you were talking about with that pressure. 3rd down and 4. Utah State has 2 wide receivers to each side. A lone running back. That's Forbes. And now we got a man in motion, Pennyman. Cox in trouble. Breaks one tackle. He will not break the second one. Trey Tate was in there for that sack. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and the Tigers have made a stop on a 3rd down conversion.
Well, and Trey Tate is a guy that Clemson defensively is really waiting to step up and become a player. I mean, he is a guy that is being pressured from behind by Corey Groover, the junior college transfer. But if Tate can continue to play like that, get in and put defensive pressure on the quarterback, then that's just going to make this Clemson defense that much better.
Utah State will be kicking it away. Leon Jackson, the punter. Ben Shate has been injured the last couple of weeks. And he's going to actually, a little bit of a run out there. Justin Miller, pretty good kick. It bounces about the 30, and Miller will walk away from it. Takes a little bit of a Clemson bounce, stops around the 23-yard line, and that's where the Tiger offense will take over. 1st and 10. 6 minutes, 41 seconds left in this first quarter. Clemson and Utah State are scoreless. You're watching college football on CSS.
Time constraints, we now move forward in the action.
1st and 10 from the 48. Flag is down. Whitehurst throwing and completing it inside the 40 to about the 32 or 38-yard line. Cole Downer, backup tight end, making the catch. But let's see what this penalty flag is about.
Cole Downer sighting. How about that?
Yeah. When you think tight end at Clemson, you think Ben Hall, but Cole Downer making the grab.
It's going to come back, though.
Illegal motion on the 35, offense. 5 yards, previous spot.
Steven Jackson gets nailed. He didn't really pick it up there from that angle, but again, Cole Downer, he is wide open.
He is wide open. Just sets up in the free spot there in the defense. Turns, squares himself up. That's just playing pitch and catch right there. Good time for Whitehurst to throw the football. You can see that. I think you and I could have completed that pass, Fred.
They did everything right except the penalty. That pushes it back 5 yards. This is Merriweather. Good yardage. He got at least the penalty back and maybe a half a yard more going to his right side. Andre Balla with the tackle for Utah State. He's going to bring up second down as the ball is resting with the nose of the football just touching midfield. Merriweather finding some running room right there. 2nd and 8. Ball at midfield. Merriweather staying in at running back with 2 wide receivers to the near side. Whitehurst looking to throw, going long, and is going to be picked off at the 10-yard line. Cornelius Lamb is still on his feet across the 30. Back to near midfield, and then he drops the football and is able to recover it for Utah State. Curtis Bayham and Whitehurst actually making the tackle right there, but not before Utah State gets the interception, and they're going to set up 1st and 10 right about midfield. 3:02 left, first quarter. Clemson and Utah State are scoreless. 1st and 10, Utah State, following a 36-yard interception return, come all the way back to their own 47-yard line.
Southern Miss Alabama. Now we can call that a border war. This is anything but a border war. Utah State traveled some 2,025 miles just to make it to this football game. But this is a team that's used to putting some miles on the bus. I mean, they've traveled already this season to Alabama. They have been in the past to Miami, and that was better than 2,600 miles. So, I mean, this is a team that is used to going and playing here in the South or on the East Coast for a paycheck. As we take a look, already 2 Clemson turnovers, the bugaboo of the Tigers offensively so far this year.
Utah State will travel over 23,000 miles for road games by the time this season is over. They're going to keep the football on the ground and get it across midfield, and a late flag there after the man was down. Forbes, the running back, brought down by Bobby Williamson, who's going to play 2 ways at tight end a little bit and also at the defensive end position. And looks like the first flag of the day going against the Aggies.
That man saw a good quick look at Tommy Bowden, but Bobby Williamson, one of the really good stories on this Clemson football team, playing a starter at tight end last year, has made the transition now over to defensive line, and they are very high on the possibility of what he may be able to do eventually.
Number 6. The previous spot.
Called out on the wide receiver Kevin Robinson, so that's going to push the Aggie offense back, making it a 1st and 19 situation. Now with the ball spotted at the 38. Inside 3 minutes to go, first quarter, no score. We've seen a lot of alignments already by this team. We had 3 in the backfield. Now there's just 1 behind Cox. Looking to throw, complete, across the 40, and that's just about it. Tony Pennyman on the catch. Leroy Hill, the outstanding linebacker, making the tackle.
And that's a good job by the Clemson linebackers. An offensive set, Fred, there that sends the wide outs, and they're just trying to clear out a path for that underneath man to come back and underneath there. But a good job by Hill. You can see him right there in the replay, just waiting, looking, watching, and then he comes up and makes a fine open field tackle.
Great tackle right there. It's a pickup of 3. They'll make it 2nd down and 16. Maybe under 2 minutes in the quarter by the time this snap is made. Cox, as you can see, with wide receivers, 2 of them to each side. We got a whistle, and we've got double zeros on the play clock, so back them up 5 more yards.
And Cox.
You know, Don, one of the things I love, this year, this is the first time we've actually been calling penalties on players by name. If there's a delay of game, it's on the quarterback.
Yep. It's not on anybody else, not on the center.
Nope.
Your responsibility to get that ball snapped in time.
2nd down and 21. Delayed handoff. This is Forbes, and that is Leroy Hill leading a bunch of Clemson tacklers. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up third down as this Aggie drive is going in the wrong direction.
Had to go for a tackle for a loss. Leroy a little slow getting up. Now he does get up on his feet, but that's what makes Leroy Hill one of the best in the ACC and one of the best linebackers in the country. He was riding off the guy that was trying to block him. As we'll watch the replay here, watch this. He'll get blocked, but he'll just continue to ride it, and he will read the man coming out of the backfield. You see him there. He bumps right off of 78, comes up, hits the man for a tackle for a loss.
Third down and 21. Utah State missed their first conversion. This is going to be, we're going to need a lot of yardage here to make this one. Cox the screen, Forbes 40 and down. That's going to bring up a fourth down situation. Nick Watkins, a linebacker. We've got 33 seconds to go in quarter number one. I think they're going to want to try to get this off, certainly, before they have to trade ends and kick into the wind. Jackson will be in punt formation. He's standing about his own 28-yard line. And Justin Miller back to receive for the Tigers inside his own 15. Jackson, that little stutter step, gets the kick away. Miller will field it with a lot of room to work with. Breaks one tackle, a second one, and gets across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. A play that's going to end the first quarter. So we are at the completion of quarter number one at Clemson Death Valley. It's homecoming right now. Utah State and Clemson are scoreless. Utah State and Clemson ready to start quarter number two from their 22. I formation behind Charlie Whitehurst. And this is Reggie Merriweather, and he gets hit hard and pushed backwards for a big loss. Kelly Papenga with the loss on the play, the big tackle.
And again, Tigers not getting production out of their first down plays. And when you force yourself into second down and longs, and this will be a second and about 16 situation, and it's tough to do anything offensively. It's tough to get a rhythm offensively.
Papenga, the sophomore out of Evanston, Wyoming. Whitehurst rolling to his left on second down. He's got Michael Collins complete. And Collins pushing his way up. It looks like he may have that first down across the 30-yard line. Michael Collins making his first real action of the season. Caught his first pass of the year in the first quarter. And now may have pushed the Tigers into first down yardage.
Michael started his career, of course, as a Tennessee Volunteer, then transferred into the Clemson program, and he just wide over there. Yards after the catch, or has become the popular the yak. And he definitely had some there.
Cornelius Lamb, one of the tacklers on there, but not after he got first down yardage. And Whitehurst complete to Collins again. Collins across the 40, up to around the 43-yard line. Jake Stewart making the stop for the Aggies. But this is close to another first down.
And the great thing about Collins, 6'3" and 218, so he's a big wide receiver. Not necessarily speedy, but he's a guy that once he catches a football and starts heading north-south, he's going to take a few tacklers with him.
First and 10 from their 43. I formation behind Charlie Whitehurst. The give is to Merriweather on the right side. He's across midfield, still on his feet. 40, inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. Antonio Taylor making the tackle for the Aggies, and Clemson has their first real legitimate drive of the day underway.
And like we were talking about in the break, Fred, this crowd just kind of sit waiting for something positive to happen. They get it there. Watch the downfield block, though, of Steven Jackson, the fullback in there. He really sealed his man off very, very well, and that was one of the things that was able to free Merriweather.
Antonio Taylor again on that tackle. But the Tigers, with that running game, have now pushed it inside the 40-yard line, first and 10, just inside the 37. Merriweather on the season, averaging nearly 8 yards a carry. And this is Merriweather again around the right side, only a couple of yards that time. With Penga in there for the tackle. It's going to bring up second down. So we've seen 3 of the Clemson's 4 tailbacks so far. We haven't seen Yusuf Kelly yet. And we won't on this snap because Merriweather has come out, and back in is Dwayne Coleman. Second down and 8 from the 35. Two receivers to the far side. Deontay Harris, the freshman, along with Curry. This is Coleman pushing it inside about the 32-yard line or so. It's going to bring a third down. Jake Stewart makes the tackle.
Anytime Utah State came with a little bit of a delayed blitz, and Clemson caught them in a situation where they actually were running away from the blitz. So didn't pick up a lot of yardage, but did at least set themselves up into a third down situation, 3rd and 4, where you have some confidence that you can convert this.
Clemson really trying to get their running game untracked. They come in averaging about 91 yards a game. That ranks 111th in the country. They've had some production so far today. On third down, Coleman out of the backfield, makes the catch and gets the first down, and still some more, still on his feet. He gets all the way down inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line.
We talked about that in the open, remember? Coleman is a guy that not only can carry the football for you, but he can swing out of the backfield and catch it, and that was the perfect example of it. Fred, they get him out there on the corner, one-on-one, and then just watch the moves that he's going to put on. That was the move right there. They got him the initial first down, would not go down on the first hit, breaks 2 or 3 tackles, keeps his feet moving, and keeps Clemson now in excellent field position, first and 10 at the 11.
Cornelius Lamb had a chance to try to deal with him one-on-one. It didn't happen. So 1st and 10 again, just outside that goal range. And here is Coleman. Coleman still on his feet inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. And this crowd beginning to get in the football game.
And again, Coleman dragging tacklers and making positive yards after the initial hit.
Bala and Brent Pollock with the tackle.
You know, a lot of people forget that Coleman was the 5A player of the year coming out of high school in Florida. So this is a kid that was highly recruited. And he just started out, unfortunately, with a broken foot in preseason and is just now really beginning to spin into 100%. 8 carries so far for 50 yards and the 1 reception for 20.
Halfway to 100. Coleman again fights his way to about the 2-yard line, and we're getting close to a first down situation. Papinga with the tackle.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
And one would have to think you're almost in 2-down territory here, Fred, if you don't get the first down here on what's going to be 3rd and short. But again, Coleman, and doing what good runners do, that little forward lean and falling forward after he gets hit.
It's been a gradual comeback for him. He actually played some against Texas A&M, but he was sort of running a little bit flat-footed, just trying to get around, getting healthier. But now 3rd down and really 3rd down and inches, full house backfield. And Merriweather pops in for the touchdown, and Clemson jumps out in front.
They go left side behind Richardson and Johnson over there, and they find the hole opened up, and Merriweather just walked right into the end zone.
Reggie Merriweather had running room there. Let's see how big that hole is.
And also a good block by Downer, the tight end. Boy, that was a good movement, and just took his man right off the line of scrimmage and drove him into the end zone.
Merriweather scores a touchdown. Jad Dean will try to add the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So the Tigers will strike first as we are fairly early here in quarter number 2 with 10:28 to go in the second quarter. Clemson leads Utah State 7-0. You're watching college football on CSS.
Constraints, we now move forward in the action.
3rd down and 5 for the Tigers.
3rd and 6 for the Tigers from the 37.
Whitehurst from the shotgun. Collins and Curry are to the far side. Tigers 3rd and 3 for 6 so far on 3rd down. Incomplete, picked off. This is Jerome Dennis, who catches the deflection out of bounds. And just like that, Curtis Bam just couldn't handle that one. Popped up in the air, and you just hate to see that because that's another turnover for the Tigers.
You can hear the collective groan of the crowd when it happened, and that's Tiger fans have seen that way too often this year. You watch it hit Bam right in the hands. He was having to spin just a little bit, and then Dennis picks it off. Hall knocks him out of bounds, and it'll affect the head of that man right there, Charlie Whitehurst, because he already has been putting enough pressure on himself because of the problems of this offense, and that's not going to help.
It is a break for Utah State. First and 10 from the 48. That's the Tigers' third turnover of this first half. Cox to the air with time. Throws complete. Raymond Hicks on the grab inside Clemson territory. Inside the 45. Anthony Waters made the tackle on the play, but this is close to a first down for Utah State. What has happened here, Don, about the last 60 seconds on the clock?
Yeah, it's just not been good for Clemson, but there you see Hicks getting in, settles in, little open area in the zone. Easy completion for Cox.
Saw C.J. Gaddis in there on that tackle as well. Second down and very short. Cox rolling to his left. And now he's going to roll back to his right and be brought down for a loss. Gaines Adams in there to make the play. That's going to push that game, or push the Aggies back just a little bit. Loss of 3, in fact, so that's going to now make it 3rd and 4. For Utah State. Clemson territory at the 46-yard line. 3 wide receivers all to the near side of the field as Tiger defense trying to get the crowd to get in the game.
Big play for the Tigers here defensively.
Cox at quarterback. Has some time, throws, dropped. Dropped right over the middle. Jason Stevens would have had the first down. And instead, his team's going to have to kick it away.
Hit him in the worst pace possible. Hit him right in the hands. Cox, as he goes over to the sideline, has to shake his head a little bit. Saw Cox's parents before the game, by the way, Fred. His birthday this weekend.
Really?
Yes.
Tiger fans will probably wish him well in everything except what's happening on this field. Justin Miller stands at his 10. Jackson ready to kick this one away with the wind. .3:16 left in the first half. Kick is away. Miller will not field it. It bounces. Pretty good special teams work down there by the Aggies. Bounced inside the 10. Sprinted right for the goal line. They were able to keep it in and finally down that football. Zebras say that it's a first down and 10 for Clemson. They will start here from their own 5-yard line. So again, great work by the special teams for Utah State. Tigers pinned back in a hole with 3:04 left in the first half. Whitehurst throwing, completing it. Nice spin move by, is this Bayham out there for a first down? Curtis Bayham able to push the chains out there. Antonio Taylor pushing him out of bounds, but not after he gets first down yardage. So you're out of a hole now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is important for the Tigers offensively to start developing some other wide receivers other than Curry. And it's good to see Bayham, and they come right back to him right after he missed the pass that was intercepted. And they come right back to him to try to create some confidence. We already seen Collins step up here in the first half.
On the ground is Merriweather fighting his way up to about the 25-yard line. Taylor again making the tackle. Pretty good pickup, perhaps 3, maybe 4 yards.
Tigers with 2 timeouts to work with here as the clock's at 2:39 and counting.
Another look at it. Just short of that 25, up to about the 24. Second down, 7. Bayham and Curry to the far side. Michael Collins to the near side. Collins already having a big day. Merriweather staying in a running back. Charlie looking and throwing, going for Collins, a little bit too tall. He's 6'3", 6'4", but not quite that big.
I think Charlie a little bit upset with Michael on the route that he ran there.
Ball falls incomplete, stops the clock at 2:12. Okay, 3rd down and 7.
Utah State going to show blitz. Let's see if they stay with this. They bring up their 2 linebackers.
Whitehurst gets some time, throws it complete. Aries Curry, who wound up going a little bit backwards. He should have enough for the first down, but Nate Frederick making the stop.
Run forward, young man. Don't run backwards. You're trying to That's where Curry just wants to make a play, and sometimes you get in such a hurry to make a play that it actually hurts your team. Luckily there, though, he's still going to have enough for the first down.
Coming over the middle, making the grab, had to kind of go low for it again. Frederick in there to make the tackle. Clock is inside, 2 minutes to go, first half. As Don mentioned, Clemson has 2 timeouts. Charlie will throw, complete. Collins across the 40, up to about the 42-43 yard line. Jerome Dennis making the stop for Utah State.
When you have to think of that play right there, Fred, maybe a little bit more difficult for Charlie, because I don't know how much he and Michael have worked together to develop that kind of timing, because that is nothing but a timing pattern.
First and 10, Clemson. Now at the 44. 4 wide receivers now in the game. Whitehurst, plenty of time. Now he's got to roll. Just keep the football and get out of bounds. Chased out of there by Michael Gates. Gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 1:21 to go.
Boy, and look at Whitehurst. He comes off that sideline and he goes right at Bayham, and he's talking to him saying, you got to come back and help me. So we look at the numbers on Charlie right now. Pretty impressive, 10 of 15 for 112, but it's those 2 INTs that are the big things that really stand out.
Threw one deep ball, kind of hung up there a little bit, and of course the other one, as you mentioned, Bayham just had the ball pop up out of his hands and right into a defender for the Aggies. Second down and 11, loss of 1. Curry in motion. Whitehurst will go to him and completes it. He's out of bounds about the 45. Pick up perhaps a yard. Oriana Taldugo.
Pick up 2 yards.
Very nice. Very nice.
Now I'd take a stab.
45-yard line.
Out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:17. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 9. There is Curry, the outstanding wide receiver, senior, out of Columbia, South Carolina. Clemson having a pretty good day on 3rd down, both offensively and defensively. They're 4 for 8 so far. Whitehurst with time, throws, goes for Collins. Too wide, out of bounds. It's going to break up a 4th down situation. Taylor and Dennis on the coverage.
Again, we go back talking about timing just a couple of plays ago. Maybe that's right there, although I think that was more or less just a bad throw here by Charlie. You can see he was looking that way the entire way, and again, just threw it outside too much for even Michael, attempting to be able to go get.
So Kevin Robinson's going to go back in punt formation to receive this one. The national leader has 1 return for 12 yards so far today, so Clemson's done their job at least up to now. Chasing, kicking from about a 32. Robinson will field it inside the 15. He's brought down immediately by C.J. Gaddis. Great coverage there by the Tigers.
Boy, Gaddis has really been coming on here as of late. We've been seeing him getting more playing time in the defensive backfield. He has always been a good special teams player. Of course, he also plays on the Clemson baseball team. Just a good all-around athlete. A lot of coaches will tell you in several different sports here on the Clemson campus that man right there is the best athlete on the campus.
You saw the replay. Just did a great job. He kind of held up to make sure you let him field it cleanly so he wouldn't get a penalty, and then kept his feet and was able to make a great tackle. 1:03 left. 1st and 10. Utah State from their own 10-yard line. This is Forbes running, and he's brought down quickly. Eric Coleman making the stop for the Tigers as we go inside a minute in the opening half.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here on this next play. If Clemson can stop them defensively, they decide to use their timeouts and try to get the ball back, because you never know what's going to happen, especially with Justin Miller back there returning a punt.
Another look at it. Looks like they're just, of course, obviously with the field position, everything else, they're just trying to get out of this half because they're going to get the ball to start the second half after they won the toss and deferred. Inside 30 seconds to go. Clemson has 2 timeouts left, but again, Don, we'll see what you mentioned if it happens here depending on the play. Forbes. Actually, that was a sack. Actually, Cox actually kept the ball, and Trey Tate got in there along with Eric Coleman. Clemson will take a timeout. 18 seconds left in the second quarter. As you can see, the play right there.
Loss of 5 yards on the play.
The Tigers are going to try to take their chances of trying to get the football back.
Fourth sack of the day.
Mick Dennehy in his 5th season after a successful stint in Montana Clemson has gotten to the quarterback 4 sacks already in this first half. 18 seconds left. 3rd down and 16. The Aggies at their own 4-yard line. The give is to Forbes, and Forbes fights up to about the 5-yard line. Nick Watkins making the tackle as Clemson takes a timeout with 12 seconds to go in the half, so they're going to get a punt away after the nice stop on 3rd down.
Nick Watkins, redshirt freshman that they are very high on. That number 32 has a lot of athletic ability. Right now he's just 205. They really think that he's going to fill out by the time that he gets to his junior year and is going to continue that great tradition of Clemson line.
Tommy Mountain making wise use of his timeouts because he's going to get a chance for Justin Miller to return this punt.
I'll tell you what, a couple of things here running through my mind, Fred. First of all, you see the note about the special teams there. Both of those block punts, though, by Kansas Stuckey. He's not playing in the game right now. But Justin Miller back there returning this punt with only 12 seconds left. If he doesn't have an open lane to try to go it all the way, he's got to make up his mind to get out of bounds because Chad Dean does have the leg to kick a long field goal.
Leon Jackson standing at the back of his own end zone. Miller is at the 45. Gets the kick away, and not a great kick. And the stop of the play with 2 seconds left. So what do you do here? 44-yard line. So 54, you're talking over a 60-yard field goal. So
I'll tell you what, he's got the leg, and especially with this much wind at his back, I'm not so sure that I don't send the young man out there with an opportunity to put 3 on the board.
Now the Clemson sideline, we're going to see who they send out, and indeed, here comes Chad Dean. They're going to spot the football at the 50. Actually, at the 48-yard line of Clemson, a 62-yard field goal attempt for Chad Dean. We'll see what kind of a leg he has. He has the wind behind him. Crowd on its feet. Kick is away.
Flags.
Flags everywhere. We'll check it out.
Delay a game.
Well,
do it again, or you throw the long bomb. I think they're going to now bring Dean off the field, and they're going to put Whitehurst in.
So they're going to put 2 seconds back on the clock. Of course, that would push it to 67. He looked like he had the leg there, but it just was wide to the right. But I think that 67, I think you need one of those hurricanes we've seen in the southeast behind him to get it from there.
Remember a kid in Texas way back when they kicked a 67-yard field goal? I think that's the all-time NCAA record.
Yeah. I always think back to Tom Dempsey, but that was a long time ago. Whitehurst rolling. He's just going to put it up for grabs. A bunch of bodies down there, but Charlie throws it down past everybody. It falls incomplete, and that's going to end the first half. So Clemson did a lot of good things in that first half. They were able to run the football a lot better than we've seen so far this season, close to 100 yards, but too many turnovers. However, they go into halftime with a 7-0 lead against Utah State. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports.